Hey, greetings everyone. It's Kojak on Kojak Gaming on the JDS server today, Syria campaign, and flying the Viper. I wanted to do a real quick pattern proficiency demo and remember how to use my nose wheel steering, and talk about some pitch and power settings for traffic pattern for the arrival, and if you're going to pull closed and do any VFR pattern work. So we will be using both the HUD as references for the AOA staple and degrees of bank, and but everything primarily should be a visual, in other words, looking outside maneuver. So we've got 5,000 pounds of gas. I'm going to take off opposite direction, runway 05. Traffic is light right now. There's no one else around here. And then climb up to 8,000, offset to the right, and come back and do a 3-mile initial for the overhead to runway 23. Do the brake over the numbers, and then get into the VFR pattern. And I'll just be talking my way through what it is that I'm looking for to be able to fly the Viper, hopefully effectively and efficiently. And maybe give you a baseline for what you could be looking at if you're doing a recovery in the Viper into Insulet. Alright, so that's better. This gross weight, takeoff speed should be about 152, and I won't be using burner, so I'm looking at a 142-ish rotate. Coming back, I'll be at about 4,000 pounds. I'll just say 5,000, so about 156 on approach, just as an initial wag. All right, finals clear, runway's clear. I would make the call out, but there's nobody on the server right now. All right, good lineup. %. It's a good engine. Release some brakes. Full mill. Airspeed's alive. Nose wheel steering's off. Come on, rudder. There we go. 140. Holding the nose up. Airborne. Maybe my told calculation was a little bit off there. Alright, climbing out, going up to 8,000. There's 10 degrees nose high, it's good enough for the climb. Pull the power back to about 6,000 on the fuel flow. We'll just offset here, right hand turn. A little bit to the east. A little bit more on the gas. Hold my 285 for my climb out.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, pop-up group 173, Fort 150 at 500, flanking.
Alright. Back over my left wingtip, there's Wrench Lake for visual arrival. I'll point that out here again when we come back for the overhead to 2-3. Approaching 8,000. Continue outbound to the east a little bit. The other visual reference is the big lake over here and the other big lake right over here. You can see both of them there. Wrench Lake is just going behind the left wingtip right now. Alright, so I would call for call tower, request the overhead, or just talk to whoever's out there on tower frequency for insulate traffic. I'll start my bid back to the left and start a descent, looking for 350 for the arrival. Alright, so I'm looking for Wrench Lake right here. Got the two big lakes, and then Wrench Lake is just down to the southeast of it, of the other two. Alright, I've got the airfield in sight. Over here, at my 11 o'clock. Inbound course is a 235 for runway 23. Pull the car back to get down to 350. Coming up on Wrench Lake.
Altitude.
There's my 3,000 that I had set. Nice little reminder. Thanks, Betty. And 350. A beam Wrench Lake, Insulet Tower, Kojak, 3 mile initial, runway 23 for the overhead. That's interesting. I've got a heading at 229 right now, pretty much going down the runway. It's about 4,000 on the fuel flow. I'm 100 feet low. And the fuel flow is going to be based on what your gross weight is. So with 4,500 pounds, and I've got nothing on the wings, I'm clean. Up over the runway. You can use this point as a reference as well for the numbers. Braking left. Kojak's in the left brake, runway 23. And here, I'm pulling the power back to idle. Getting the boards out to full. Starting my descent to 1700 for pattern altitude. Now the other thing I'm looking for is power line triangle, which is where these 3 sets of power lines come to a point. There's a power line there, power line here, and a power line that runs over this direction. And they are right here at this crossroads. And when I cross over that, I want to be on a 055 heading. Doesn't have to be exact, but 055 is going to parallel me for my downwind leg. So 05060 somewhere in there. Thanks for the alarm. Alright, boards are already out. Setting 3,000 on my fuel flow. And now I'm looking for 1 mile road, which is going to be up here from my perch. Beam there, gear down. 30 feet low, not too bad though, I can handle that. Gears in transit, I get 3 green. Alright, so 30 degrees of bank and 2.5 degrees nose low with about 3,000 pounds fuel flow set. And now I'm just looking outside for my lineup. I can see the runway. And descent rate's getting up there a little bit. Pull the nose back up. Now I'm working the top of the staple. Right here is my 11 to 13 AOA range. So I do know that my target approach speed, straight and level, or level wings level, is going to be about 156 to 158, somewhere in there. But in the turn, you know, I will be approaching stall faster. I'll have a higher AOA in the turn. Gear check is good. Didn't call my base, sorry. Alright, now just want to fight for center line, get that 2.5 degree pitch ladder on the approach end of the runway, and slow down to my 11 AOA, which will put me just at about just underneath the top of the staple. So I'm going way too fast. There it is, right in there. Just for center line. Don't hit the sequence flashers. Cross the threshold. Hold the power. Touch on the nose a little bit to the left. There's touch. Mill power. Speed brakes in. Climbing away. Gear up.
Altitude.
Alright, so now for requesting close, the call would be tower Kojak request close runway 23 or traffic advisory. Kojak's closed traffic runway 23 departure end. So once I cross the departure end and or get to 600 feet AGL, which would be 800 on the altimeter, start my left-hand turn. Got a little bit fast there and wanted to pull it back to 5,000 after the touch. Climb it to 1700, and I'm looking for power line triangle again. Pull the power back to 3,000 fuel flow since I've got plenty of smash right now. Which is going to kick me out pretty wide. Alright, there's power line triangle right there. So, I'm pretty well abeam that, and I want to get on my 055 heading. And get back up to pattern altitude, how about? Alright, so there's midfield downwind. Correcting back up to pattern altitude. About 3,000 set on the fuel flow is a ballpark. And beam the depart to the arrival end, and coming up on 1 mile road. Now I'm 100 high. Got a village over here to my right, a village over here to my left. Kind of split that up the middle. Speed brakes to full, gear down. A little bit of a late perch there. 3 degrees of bank, and I'm just going to hold the nose where it is. There it is. Now the gear's down. I've got 3 green. Nose will start to drop. Sitting right at my 3,000 pounds of fuel flow, and let the nose come down to about 2.5 degrees. And in the Viper, it's just a little gentle pull to maintain that back stick, that nose up tendency. Otherwise, the nose will drop on you a little bit. Speed's coming back nicely. I had a little bit of a late perch, so I've got to rest my descent a little bit earlier. A little bit more power here. Keep the nose coming down so I can get that 2.5 degree line on the threshold right here, my pitch ladder. There it is. And I want to put my flight path marker on top of the staple and adjust the power as necessary to get it right in that sweet spot of 11 to 13 AOA. Somebody else on the runway. brakes in, gear up. I can see power line triangles right over here. Up to 1700. Get off some of that airspeed.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, Bra 171 for 240 at 9,000.
So here's power line triangle.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, pop-up group 120 for 100 at 2,000. Cold.
055 for the downwind heading.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, pop-up group 140 for 90 at 3,500 knots.
3000 fuel flow. Abeam the arrival end.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, Bra 172 for 240
Speed brakes are fully open.
at 10,000.
Just waiting on the gear. There's 1 mile road. Past it. Gear's coming down.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, Bra 122
Kojak left base gear down. Option 23.
4,500 flanking. Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, pop-up group 122 for 100 at 2,500 cold. Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, pop-up group 144 for 90 at 2,500 cold.
As I see the trend of the flight path marker starting to pull down to the staple, I'm going to add just a little bit more power. You heard the engine spin up a little bit there.
Pop-up group 145
A little bit more power.
at 4,000 flanking.
And as I roll out, then I'll start to take some of that power out too.
Dark Star 1-1, Bra 151 for 170 at 23,000 flanking.
This is a little bit more of a 3 degree, so I'll go ahead and accept that. Bring the flight path marker up to the threshold. And bring the power back to get me down to my 11 AOA.
Enfield 6-1,
Speed brakes are fully extended. Add a little bit of power. Gears check 3 green.
7,000 knots.
A little bit fast.
Enfield 6-1,
There's a touch.
1-1, pop-up group 148
No power. Probably a second touch there too.
500 flanking.
Speed brakes in, gears coming up. And back to 5,000 on the fuel flow. 5 degrees nose up on the flight path marker.
1-1, Bra 173 for 170 at 30,000 flanking.
Kojak left closed traffic, runway 23. Departure end, and power line triangles over there. Feet to level. Leveling off and just pulling around until I see the power lines. There they are. There's the near line. There's another line going out. It's right down there. Trying to fly with my left hand while I use the mouse on the right.
Enfield 6-1, Dark Star 1-1, Bra 124 for 90 at 8,000 flanking.
There's power line triangle with 055. Past midfield downwind. Way too fast. Boards early. Waiting on 1 mile road. Gear speed back. Alright, gears coming down. About 70 feet low. Bring the power back up to 3,000 on the fuel flow. Kojak left base gear down, touch and go 2-3. Until already I'm getting way drugging out here. Sequence flashers. Ah, this is ugly. Yeah, I'm not going to accept that. Going around. Speed brakes in. Gears coming up.
Altitude. Altitude.
Kojak's on the go. Close traffic. Runway 23. Five 5,000 fuel flow, 5 degrees nose up.
Dark Star 1-1, descending bandit at Pulse 005 for 70.
$100 to level. There's 1,700.
Enfield 6-4.
Power line triangles right off the nose. Infield downwind. About 100 low. Correcting back up to 1,700. Two brakes are full. Gear down. Kojak left base, gear down, touch and go, runway 23. There's my AOA donut. Power idle. Touch. Full mill. Speed brakes in. Correct the center line. Look to the end of the runway. Airborne. Gear up.
Altitude.
5 degrees, 5,000 pounds. Coming up on departure end, there's 600 AGL, power line road. I'm sorry, power line triangle. Climb it to 1700. Shot my altitude, looking for power line triangle again. There it is. Right there. Power back to 3,000 fuel flow. Crossing over power line triangle on a 055 heading. Good offset, just past midfield downwind, coming up on a beam arrival. Speed brakes out. Here again, there's 1 mile road for our perch. Gear down. Kojak left base gear down, full stop, runway 23. Degrees of bank, 2.5 degrees nose down, 3,000 on the fuel flow. And let that airspeed bleed off until it gets right down close to the staple, and just add in a little bit. A little bit of power, a little bit more. Keep it right up there at the top of the staple. See down there, I'm right at 10 to 11 AOA. As I roll out, take out a little bit of power. Undershot a little bit there. And the nose up. It's right on 2.5 at brick 1. Now I just hold the flight path marker there and adjust the power as required. Gears down. Touch of power and slowly back to idle. I'll just hold that picture. There's my touch. Aero brake, keep the nose off. Speed brakes are checked in full. Coming down below 100. I still have rudder authority. I won't engage the nose wheel steering until I get down to well below 30 knots. If I really have controllability issues, then I can use differential braking. I'm keeping full backstick pressure right now, just to increase the aero braking capability. And now I'm getting on the brakes. Alright, airspeed indicator died. I'm below 60 knots. Slowing to taxi speed. And center up the rudder pedals. Engage nose wheel steering. I can let off the backstick pressure. Speed brakes coming in.
Silver 4-1. Turn next taxiway, report clear runway 23.
Silver 401. Clear 23 at Alpha, taxi to park.
Silver 41, cleared taxi to park via Charlie Golf, remain this frequency.
Copy, taxi to park via Golf and stay with you. Silver 41, thanks. All right, clear the active. And I'll do the cool guy thing here and unlock the canopy. I'll do the other cool guy thing and actually get on my taxi line. How about that? God. And everybody, that was Hollywood as tower controller there at the end. Thanks for popping in. Pretty cool.
You betcha.
All right. That'll do. I think I'll just stop right here. Shut it down. Kill the lights and the power. Good to go. That's it. Questions, comments? Be sure to let me know. Appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we'll see you on the next go. And thanks again, Hollywood, for popping in. Appreciate that.
You bet.
See you, everybody.